Michael Schumacher was lucky. Rescuer reveals new details on F1 star's accident. Michael Schumacher continues to recover from the fall that left him in an induced coma 5 years ago. It is understood the 49-year-old who won a record-breaking 7 world championships is being cared for at his home near Lake Geneva in Switzerland. The German driver's family has always said his health is not a public matter. But now, the day before the 5th anniversary of his accident, the man in charge of Michael's rescue operation has broken his silence on the aftermath of the incident in the French resort of Mirabeau. Stéphane Bozen, commander of the Mountain Constabulary of Savoie and at that time responsible for the coordination of the rescue operation, told German publication Focus he remembers immediately sending a helicopter to assist the racing driver after his crash. He said, the first responders only said that because the accident site was next to the slope, it was difficult for them to transport him carefully and cautiously. And it was clear that it was very serious, otherwise we would not have used the helicopter. Mr. Schumacher was lucky. Asked what happened when the helicopter landed next to the slope, Mr. Bozen said, it only takes a few minutes from the helicopter base in Kochevo to Mirabeau. I still remember that the emergency doctors of the helicopter had problems with the first care on the slopes because of the location of the accident. That's another reason why they decided to fly to Maltaras first to stabilize him. Then he was flown to the hospital in Grenoble. But the rescue commander told the magazine about the finer points of the accident, claiming that while Michael had hit a stone that was covered with snow, the resort operator was not at fault because the F1 legend was skiing outside of parameter areas and had decided to go off-piste or deviated away from the slopes. Mr. Bozen said of the investigation into the cause of the accident, some of our people were already at the scene in the afternoon. I was there the next day, took pictures, talked to experts. I also saw the stone Schumacher encountered with his skis and the stone he hit with his head. The special thing was that it had snowed so little in the days before that the stones were slightly covered with snow, but only with a very thin blanket of snow. He could not see the stone. But if it had snowed more, Schumacher would probably just have glided over the first stone. Schumacher was clearly outside of the prepared area of the slope at the time. But only by a few meters. Nevertheless, the operator of the ski resort is not at fault. Because if you go off the slopes, it is at your own risk. Michael, 49, suffered life-changing injuries after the skiing accident. He spent months in a coma and now requires round-the-clock care at his mansion in Gland, Switzerland. His condition remains a mystery, with his manager Sabrine Kemp saying it was a private matter but the family were grateful for the support. In April 2015, it was announced that Schumacher had shown moments of consciousness and awakening. And when asked if he had visited the family, Mr. Bozen solemnly revealed that he had received no report on Michael's progress or recovery. Mr. Bozen said, "No. I do not know how he is doing either. But I do think about this accident quite often. For example, when I see a slope with stones at the edge. That's why I would like to hear good news about Michael Schumacher." Last month, it was reported the Ferrari driver is said to no longer be bedridden or in a coma, although experts claim that his prolonged disorder of consciousness would hinder his full recovery. Next news: Ferrari to mark Michael Schumacher's 50th birthday with special exhibition. Ferrari will mark stricken Formula One hero Michael Schumacher's 50th birthday early in the new year with a museum exhibition. The Michael 50 exhibition dedicated to the motor racing star's feats will open at the Ferrari Museum in Ranello, northern Italy, as a celebration and a mark of gratitude. The exhibition will open on Schumacher's birthday, January 3rd. But a much sadder anniversary will come earlier. On December 29 it will be 5 years since Schumacher's tragic skiing accident. He hit his head on a rock while skiing off-piste in the French Alps, suffering severe head injuries. His family has been protective over his condition since, but a report just over a week ago suggested he may not be bedridden and could be transferred to a clinic in Dallas, Texas, that specializes in treating brain injuries. His birthday exhibition will be run in association with the Keep Fighting Foundation launched by his family 2 years ago. It is intended both as a celebration and a mark of gratitude to the most successful prancing horse driver ever, Ferrari said in a statement. Schumacher won 5 consecutive Formula One drivers' titles from 2000 to 2004 during his time with Ferrari, 1996 to 2006. The museum's rooms will look back over the memorable seasons that the 7-time world champion gifted to all Ferraristi, and that created a legend now bigger than ever in the hearts of all fans, Ferrari said. The exhibition will also show Michael's crucial contribution to the development of extraordinary GT cars in his years at Ranello, as a driver and later as a consultant. The exhibition will run for a few months. Formula One is also planning to mark Schumacher's 50th birthday, with a week of social media features, including exclusive interviews with many of those who had been part of Schumacher's F1 story, Reuters reported. "We are going to celebrate Michael's birthday," said a spokesman. Mercedes, which was Schumacher's last team before he retired in 2012, will also display some of his cars at their Stuttgart museum, Reuters said. How Schumacher's family marks his birthday is expected to remain a secret, as they have been consistent in not commenting on his condition or his care. The best present for Michael and the family as he approaches his 50th birthday is for people to remember him as the best racer and record breaker that he is, Sabine Kem, loyal spokeswoman for the Schumacher family, said recently. A report last week by the Daily Mail contradicted long-held speculation that Schumacher is confined to a bed. Sportsmail understands that he is not bedridden, nor is he existing on tubes. Yet it is believed he is receiving extensive nursing and therapy care, which has been estimated to cost more than £50,000, $92,600 New Zealand dollars, a week, wrote Jonathan McAvoy. The report said Schumacher was living with his immediate family in the main body of the £50 million, $92.6 million New Zealand dollars, lakeside mansion in Gland, Switzerland, and wasn't housed in a specialist medical facility at his residence. There has been speculation such a facility had been built in a new cottage on the property. But the latest report insisted that cottage was always intended as a base for his widower father when he stayed. The report repeated suggestions in German magazine Bravo that Schumacher could be transferred to a clinic in Dallas, Texas, that specializes in treating brain injuries. Mark Weeks, the director, told the magazine, We have a lot of experience with patients who are suffering this kind of trauma. There is probably no clinic in Europe that treats as many cases as we do. Next news: Michael Schumacher's son reflects on best times karting as a kid. Michael Schumacher's son has reflected on the best times with his dad, saying the early days of his career were his favorite. Formula 3 star Mick Schumacher, 19, hopes to make it in Formula 1 soon and says his best memories with his father were karting when he was a child. Speaking on a local German television documentary called Schumacher, The Next Generation, Mick said the pair would go to his local karting track even when it was closed. Even on days when the track was closed in Kerpen, we went there and were allowed to race our laps there. Schumacher's family and close friends have remained tight-lipped on his condition since he suffered a traumatic brain injury after hitting his head on a rock when skiing at an exclusive French Alps resort in December 2013. All the refining we did to be faster was also a lot. That was always the best time, he revealed in the documentary. The 19-year-old is now an F3 champion and says he and his father would go to the local track in Kerpen near Cologne to mentor him and give advice. Having won the Formula 3 European Championship this year has cemented his claim for a seat with an F1 team. Michael Schumacher eventually asked his son on the side of the track how much he liked racing and if he wanted to follow in his footsteps. Dad finally asked what we wanted to do. Whether we want to do it professionally or whether we want to do this just for fun, as a hobby. Of course, I said it very clearly, I want to do it professionally. This month Michael Schumacher's wife described her husband as a fighter in a heartfelt note. His wife of 23 years, Corinna Schumacher, 49, wrote he was a fighter in a note revealed nearly 5 years since his ski tragedy. It is good to receive so many kind wishes and other well-intentioned words, which is a great support for our family. We all know Michael is a fighter and will not give up. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.